Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. I wanted to come on and share some thoughts with you guys. Just some things that I've been kind of talking to my dad about, just some things that I've been thinking, feeling, whatever. Thought I would share it with you guys. So two things. There's two things I want to share with you. So not sure if it was the Holy Spirit, so I'm not claiming it is or not, but I was sitting here thinking last night and it came over me like a flood, okay? So this jab that people have gotten is, what it's doing is it is reducing the generation. People used to live to a certain point in their life. Now, pretty much globally, people have taken this, and the reduction of age for generation is diminishing. So, though it's not the mark, Satan is definitely using it to cast away or destroy God's creation. There are believers that have taken it, and a lot of them are suffering the consequences from that. And unbelievers, of course, have taken it. But Satan has done all he can to destroy God's creation. By that meaning that we know Satan's out to steal, kill, and destroy. And what better way to do that than to also bring in the lie of deception that people believe and they follow. And many people did. And now their age, the age of lifetime is being decreased. So it's no wonder that Jesus has to return really soon, because this jab isn't going to stop. People are continuing to get it. They're getting multiple of them. They're getting, 5, 6, 7, 8 boosters. And then whenever the next thing comes out, then they'll get that too. And they're just, packing their body full of this stuff. And, many people are receiving certain things that are happening in their body. I can't, say here, but it's all the same. These people that are dying have all the same things that are within their body, or happening to their body. And so it's no wonder that Jesus has to return to save us from ourselves, to save humanity. Because really, if the generation, number keeps going down, there's not going to be any flesh to save. And if you think about, all of this happened within a 2-year period of time, and look at the destruction that has happened just in that 2-year period of time. You figure, let's just say hypothetically, 7 years later from now, what is it going to look like? There's not going to be anything there. There's not going to be anybody to save if Jesus does not come for his own. And another thing I was thinking about this morning was, the strength of our leaders, okay? If we have a leader in our country, and by that I mean a president, if we have somebody that is extremely strong, that, let's say, other countries are afraid of, as they did with Trump, they were afraid of him, things are not going to go as planned. If the rapture happens and with all of the chaos that's going to be happening after the rapture, if we have a strong leader in office, they're going to be able to handle it, right? So you have to have somebody like we have now that will gladly ask for help and need help and not be able to handle the destruction that's before them. And that's how I see the Antichrist being able to rise and being able to take over, is because of weak leadership. We at one point were one of the strongest nations in the world, and we have, in such a short period of time, have gone from bad to okay to there's nothing left. There's nothing left of this country. And there has to be weakness in order for the powers, the outside powers, to take control. Because if we have a strong leader, whoever it is, let's say it's Trump, let's say it's DeSantis, whoever it is, they're strong enough to handle those situations. DeSantis was in the military. He would be able to handle it. He would be able to handle chaos. That's to say that he's not, I don't even know if he's saved or not. But, it's going to be, it has to be at a point, the rapture has to happen at a point when America is at its lowest. It's not going to be when America is at its strongest. It's not going to be when America has a great leader and leadership, because, a great leader isn't going to hand over the keys to somebody else to handle the situation. We have to have somebody that is basically non-existent in order to do that. And right now we see this happening with, all like the balloon garbage that's, going on. I know I'm kind of veering off, but, that thing goes into the water, which, by the way, they didn't show, which I found that a little sus. They kept showing the same footage over and over and over again of it up in the air, but they didn't show it land. And then to come out and say, well, gosh, we hope that who doesn't get to it first. Well, that should be an indication that they already have it, that they've been there and they've got it. Because you don't say stuff like that, that's kind of letting you know that it's not in American hands anymore, that they have gotten it, because they're on the coast. They've been circling the coast now for months. So I'm sure that they've gotten to it before we did. And there's troops in Canada. There's, we are circled. Okay. We're just waiting they are just waiting for the right moment, but the weakness and the blaming, and everybody's blaming, this guy, and everybody's, and then you've got this leader. Our leader is blaming somebody else. He can't take responsibility for his own actions. It's always somebody else's fault. And, the weakness of that is going to allow for this to happen. And if you really think about it, nothing bad really happened under this administration. Every president before him, something bad has happened. Really catastrophic. You figure there was Bush, and then there was 9/11, and then you had Obama, and you had all, the wars and stuff like that. It's like, and then you had like the bombings here, the terrorist bombing in, I think, what was it, Atlanta, at that race. You've got everything. Even Trump, there was stuff that was kind of going on. Look at the protests and the fires and all of this, the George Floyd protests and all of this stuff. And nothing's really happened yet. But I think my personal view is that I believe that there has to be someone in place in order for the big man to come onto the scene. I think America is the last piece of the puzzle. Because globally, they're doing their cryptocurrencies, what is that? The cashless currency, whatever. And I think America is the last piece of the puzzle that is just waiting. And yeah, I think America holds very tight to their Second Amendment right, okay? And I'm not against it at all. We own them as well. But there has to be something has to happen in order for the Second Amendment to be demolished. And the Chinese their citizens aren't allowed to have weapons. So if you get where I'm going with that, I don't want to be censored. But I believe that they're going to invade, and I believe that that's where it's going to happen. And they are going to be part of the regime of the Antichrist. They're going to strip everybody of their Second Amendment. And people can sit there and say, oh, not me. Oh, it'll never happen to me. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it will. I guess unless you bury some in the desert somewhere, you'll be, they're going to take them away. It's going to happen. Because the Antichrist can't have people with guns. So, it's going to happen. But I just wanted to share some ideas with you that, everything that's happening, everything that we're seeing is an indication of the timing, that we're at. And, people close to me even, and it I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it does when they're believers, but they think that the rapture is like 50 years away, or not in their lifetime. And it's like, how can you possibly say that? How can you say that the rapture is 50 years away? It's not. It is not. There is no more time. There is absolutely no more time. If you watch something that I've been noticing and has been in my spirit, and I've been really noticing this, and God's been really ministering to my heart about this, is, these people that are going into the stores and thieving and doing all that stuff, people that are just walking up to people and just beating people, or just screaming out of nowhere, or, just screaming at people for no reason. They call them Karens, okay? There's a reason for that. And it's not just demon possession, because, yes, demons are at play, but the way that I see it is that we have entered a new generation, if you will. The curtains have been lifted to the point where these people are so debased with their minds and the way that they think. They're so molded and melded to the world that they're, how do I put it? I want to say like zombies, And I often wonder when I see stuff like that, when I see people acting like that, or they call them Karens or whatever, I often wonder if they've been jabbed. And that is causing people to react differently. It's causing people to behave differently, to talk differently, to act differently. Because, people didn't act like this even 3 years ago. And if you put two and two together, and you kind of put up the timing and the time frame and the whole Karen things, and the people just walking in, the lawlessness that's happening, you think, I know I do. I wonder if they are, if this is a reaction from that. Or if it's just like a taste of what's to come, when people do take the mark. It's just everything that we're seeing is just setting up for the tribulation, which shows us that our time here is so incredibly short. We have no more time. And I know people want to say, they always hear you talking about the rapture, and they always turn around and say, no one knows the day or the hour. And I hate that so much, because, no one is, certainly not me. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, he's coming, by this date at this time. I'm certainly not saying that. But, we can certainly know that his return is near. And I'm not talking like 10 years near or even a year near. I'm seeing everything that's happening, and I would be like, there's just no time. This year is a very high year, I'll tell you that. Just based upon if you look at the time, the 80-year generation mark, the agenda that's being planned and pre-planned, and that one world religion house, they were supposed to open in October. And when I saw that they still haven't opened yet, and there's still no date of opening, and apparently it's completed. So what's the holdup? And to me, the holdup is the restrainer, okay? Because like I've told you before, what kind of a business doesn't tell you the date, it's opening by such and such day or month? It doesn't, they don't tell you that. It's still not open. And it's kind of funny because it kind of makes you wonder if, because Satan thinks that he knows more than God, and he's trying to always be one step ahead. And I often wonder if that building is what the Antichrist is going to try and, unite the world in one world religion, one world peace. He's going to stand there, and that's where that's going to happen. And that's why there's no date on it. There's no known opening. It's supposed to open this year. That's all I know. They said it's supposed to open this year. But the Pope just did a renewing of the one world religion pact for this year. He just did another one. So, I mean, you have to play chess, okay? The Pope's doing this. Okay, that's done. Okay, and then look at the stuff that's going on. Another thing too, before I forget, that just popped in my head. All of these wars, these global wars that are, everybody's like talking about wars, right? Rumors of wars. They're all talking smack, like, we're going to start this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. None of that is going to happen with us here. Okay? It's different, a war is different than a global war. A global war is not going to happen. And by that, I mean, all of these countries are getting ready to, it's like a powder keg ready to blow. They're not going to go because the restrainer is holding it back. But once the restrainer has been removed, aka us, we are out of here, we're done, and it's going to blow off. Like, this entire world is going to go head to head. And we're not going to be here to see it. And a lot of people want to speculate, are we going to see the Ezekiel 30? No, I don't believe so at all. I don't believe we're going to see any of it, because I believe that the restrainer is, as soon as his hand is lifted off, and we are too, everything's going to go. So that's just my take on it. Whatever. Anyways, guys, just wanted to share that with you. What else? I have something else I want to talk about briefly, but I'll do that in my next video. So anyways, guys, I've talked your ear off enough, so I hope you guys have a wonderful day, the rest of your day. Be safe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.